Hey guys, this is Randall, here to review For Today's new album, Fight the Silence. Before I do, I would like to give a message to all of you. If you don't already know, For Today's new album is about the subject of human trafficking. If you do not know what this is, I can't say I blame you. There's a lot of news outlets that refuse to report on this subject, but they very much should. Human trafficking, also known as sex slavery, is the second largest criminal organization in the world. There are more slaves right now than there have ever been at any point in human history, and only 1 to 2% of human trafficking victims are ever rescued. But thankfully, in the midst of all this silence, For Today has dedicated their new album to fighting the silence against human trafficking, and they're in an attempt to spread awareness about the subject. And during my review of the album, I would hope that you throw away any prejudices or preconceptions about the band and help them fight the silence and support them in their effort to spread awareness about the horror that is human trafficking. Thank you very much. Alright, time to get this review started. Now, I actually wasn't sure if I wanted to get this album. They released, For Today released 3 singles from this album, or rather 3 songs from this album. And I listened to all of them. Honestly, I did really like Pariah actually, but the other 2, while their message was really good, and I highly support their message, musically it just wasn't hitting the spot for me. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to buy this album or not. However, Alternative Press has a stream up on their website, and I have listened to the album now for a few times, and I'm going to say now that it's actually worth the money to get. It's definitely a really good album. It's nothing absolutely mind-blowing, but it's definitely got its moments. If you like the lyrics of For Today, you're definitely going to love this album. The lyrics in this album are very bold and very honest, just as they have always been, but in a different degree this time. They've definitely taken it to the next level. I just absolutely love the lyrics of each song on this album. Maddie is awesome at writing inspirational lyrics. And to be honest, the lyrics are most of the reason why I listen to this band. I mean, they sound pretty good, but if they had generic Christian lyrics, to be honest, I probably wouldn't listen to this band. And you might condemn me for saying that, but come on. You know their lyrics are half the reason you listen to them too. So anyways, yeah, the lyrics on this album are absolutely fantastic. And if you're a fan of For Today's lyrics, that's just one reason to get this great album. Now, For Today, they've kind of erred from their original sound, which is fine to me, because their original sound was more in the hardcore genre, and I don't really care for hardcore. I do have their third album, Breaker, which I guess you could still consider that being a hardcore record, and that album's okay, but I prefer their newer stuff like Immortal, Prevailer in this album, because it's more metalcore. So yeah, they've definitely erred from their original sound, but I prefer their new sound. And honestly, this album brings to the table a lot. A lot of old stuff we've already heard, but mixed in with some newer stuff. The best way to describe this CD, I think, is they took a bunch of the best elements of all the albums and threw them into one album. And to me, that when I first heard about that didn't sound good to me. I was like, no, come on, I want something new. I don't want something old and rehashed here. I mean, come on. Well, this isn't Call of Duty. But the album actually does it really well. It takes a bunch of elements from their past albums and mixes them together really well to form a really enjoyable album. It also has some newer stuff we really haven't heard from the band ever. 2 of the songs, Reflections and Resonate, are just melodic, clean vocal songs. They're really short, but they basically only have clean vocals in them, and even though they're really short, we really haven't heard that from For Today. I think there might have been a song like that on their second album, but I'm not completely for sure about that. So that was really nice. That was something new. That's something we really haven't seen from the band before, apart from that song on their second album, and of course their acoustic cover of Fearless from the Prevailer EP. And this album also produces some of For Today's heaviest songs, really. Um, both the tracks Molotov, forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I don't know if I am or not, but if I am, please forgive me. And Pariah are both very heavy songs that are probably their heaviest since Devastator, probably. They're very heavy, and I very much enjoy those two songs. The My favorites from this album, my favorite songs would probably be Molotov again. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but if I am, please forgive me. Fight the Silence, which, by the way, I didn't really care for this song at first. I loved the lyrics, I loved its message, I loved the fact that it was trying to spread awareness about human trafficking, but musically I couldn't say it didn't really impress me. But after listening to it a couple of times, I've warmed up to it. I can say I actually really like this song. It's one of my favorites from the album. Another favorite of mine would be Pariah. I really liked the song right off the bat. I really liked it a lot. It's got just great vocals from Matty. He can just go from this low guttural growl to like a midway between screaming and growling, and then just go and fly off the handle and do this really high-pitched screech that sounds really, really nice. And Pariah is a great example of this. And my last favorite on the album would probably be, definitely not least though, it's my last, but definitely not least, would be For the Fallen. It's really great. The best thing about it probably is the chorus. It's got a really melodic chorus that's just great, and those are really my favorites from this album. But the whole album is really great. It's definitely worth the money. I'll definitely be picking it up Tuesday. If nothing, if just to support the band to help raise awareness for human trafficking. But even without that, it's still a really good album that any For Today fan should consider buying or at least looking into. If you're a fan of their lyrics or Maddie's vocals or the clean vocals provided by their clean vocalist, I do not know his name, I'm sorry, then you should definitely go check this album out and buy it when it comes out Tuesday. So I'm going to give this album a 4.3 out of 5. It's really great. It's got some great vocals, some great lyrics, and it's just overall a really good For Today album. I'm going to go ahead and say it's my favorite For Today album ever. So definitely go pick this up when it comes out Tuesday. So that's it for this review. If you've heard this album as streamed on alternatepress.com, please tell me what you thought about it in the comments below. I'm really interested to hear your opinion. And if you haven't heard the album, you should go check it out. There's a stream on alternatepress.com. I'm sure that'll be over by when the album comes out. So if you're listening to this after the album comes out, that stream is probably not available anymore. Sorry. But you should still go pick it up, still check it out, see if you like it, and support these guys and their message of trying to raise awareness about the horrors of human trafficking. So that's it for this review. Be sure to stick around and subscribe because I've got more reviews coming. I'll be doing those as I get the time to do them. So stick around. I'll try to provide some more reviews soon. And until my next video, you guys just keep it metal.